Is this still working?
Hello.
Okay, I started the recording. Is this still working?
It's still working.
I,
Hello.
okay, sweet. I didn't think that would work again.
Yes.
So anyway, for the third
Beautiful
time,
breaks.
for the third time,
Mike Z, please.
it's one in hopefully or maybe not a series of many podcasts that I want to do with the Skullgirls community, just to kind of get like a bunch of thoughts out in different
Yeah.
things. So before we start talking to ClarenceMage, aka CM, aka arguably,
AKA Tuny Mage.
yeah, or aka like probably the best player in the region still. Depends,
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. But in any case, like, do you want to do a bit of an introduction to you as far as the scene goes?
Okay, well, as far as where I am right now, I am returning to playing Skullgirls because I am starting to play fighting games more casually now, because I'm starting to focus on doing more art shit. And so, because I'm just focusing on Skullgirls, it's basically the only fighting game I'm playing for fun. I'm kind of back into it. I haven't played Ranbats in like ages.
I know, I meant
I have
more in
not
like
really.
if people like didn't know you at all and were like, oh, what's the
Oh,
Skullgirls Oceanic scene like? And like, could you explain it from that perspective?
sure. Like, what's the oceanic scene like, and
Oh no
how,
no,
and
like
what's my.
how did you start in the Oceanic scene? Like when did you start? Were there many tournaments you went to? So on and so forth, like stuff like
Sure.
that.
Okay. Okay. So the way that I started getting into Skullgirls was I was around for like the launch of Vanilla, like offline, and I played a bit with Tomo and Age and that.
Tomo
But
as
I
in
didn't.
Tomo 009 from the Skull Heart.
Yes.
Age, I think, did he go by Age of Fools always, or like at the start, or was he
Yeah.
always Age?
He was always Age.
Right.
People thought that his it was short for Adrian at some point, but yeah.
Okay, so
Um. Yeah. There was also Folks. So those were the offline Victoria people. I stopped playing shortly around Slightly Different Edition because I was like, fuck learning these long combos. Then when PC Edition came out, I was like, all right, let's play it. And so I sat on Ranked and I spammed invites to every single person with a green ping that I could fight and invited everyone to the Skullgirls Oceanic fucking Steam group
those are the
that
days.
someone made. Those were the days. Um, and then there was my main grind. We started running Ranbats at some point, and they were streamed. Age was winning a lot of them. Smokey was winning a bunch of them. Tomo was winning a bunch of them, I
Uh,
think.
yeah, Smokey as in Snowed Smokey. Did he go by any other name? I don't think he
Nah,
did. Yeah,
he didn't.
yeah.
Um, and it took a while, but eventually I started going even with Age, and then started beating Age. And so I was like really proud of myself for that. And then I started getting like really super cancerously cocky and aggressive. Um, and I started shitposting way more on Skull Heart, etc. I started winning Skullgirls offline tournaments. I won a medal for playing Skullgirls like a bunch of years
Just give me a
ago
moment.
in BAM when it was ran there. Um,
Hello.
hello. All right, he's doing some stuff. What else did I do? I've just been playing online because the game has rollback netcode, so it's playable online in Australia, and Australian internet's terrible. But it's so terrible right now that I can't even play online depending on whether RNGesus decides that my internet connection is good or not that day.
Right.
But that's neither here or there.
Yeah. Sorry about the
Um,
earlier thing, by
I
the way, but yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, sweet.
The team that I was played in vanilla was Valentine Cerebella because I was like, hey, ninjas, and you can pick any assist in the game you want. Let's pick command grab assist because I'm a troll by
Right.
nature.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, at some point, I switched to Team Duck because I was like, let's tier haul the fuck out of this game, and Big Ben didn't exist yet, and so Team Duck was like pretty much the best team
This
in the
is
game at that
SDE
point.
days, right? Because I think Big Bang came out
Yeah,
during MDE or after MDE, something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Right.
Um, it was kind of tossing up between either that team or a team like Misfortune Parasol Double being the best two teams. There was like some weird balance issues with like who can synergize the best with what assists, and it really narrowed down the synergy into like a core few duos that like worked well together. When Big Band released, it took a while to like actually establish like, oh, beat extend is really good. Dime was actually the first person to like hit me up with a like the secret tech of, hey, beat extend, it's fucked up, yo.
Oh, did you talk
So
about
he
Dime
was,
yet, or like as part of your history?
oh no, I didn't actually. I'll bring up Dime. He was one of the original people that was like playing since vanilla online, grinding it,
Right.
and uh, he would just play lots of sets with like Tomo folks and Age. And he also went to the first Evo that had Skullgirls, and he played Americans there.
Right.
Yeah, Dime is strange. He has a lot of old man logic, so it's like on the surface, he sounds like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But I found a way to actually dig through the riddles that he posts and extract like valuable knowledge from it.
That's a good way to put it.
Because there's a lot of fucking riddles, and
Yeah.
sometimes he does says shit that's straight up wrong, but that the gist of the type of the thing he's saying is actually applicable in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Sort of like Mike Z logic, except Mike Z is more correct about technically provable things because he's more about technically provable things.
Because he made the game.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes Mike Z logic is like, what?
Yeah.
How do you even?
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. So when Big Band dropped, that's when like Dime started becoming more of a threat, because it was like, hey, beat extend plus Painwheel means Painwheel can use a fucking DP assist. And that's when I decided, oh, maybe I could pick up Painwheel as well. And whereas like beat extend helps every single character in the game be viable, no matter who they are. So like Painwheel and Squiggly immediately rose in the tier list for me, because I was like, they can use beat extend. They're not gimped.
So during this time, you played Valentine Pinwheel Double? Or did you move on to your own team?
During that time, I was still playing Valentine Philia Double. I wasn't.
Right.
I didn't play Painwheel until Big Band established himself as Beat Extend Lord. And
Right.
before I picked up Painwheel, I was playing Valentine Double Big Band.
Oh, okay.
And so that was quite a potent team. Yeah. It's still quite a potent team.
That shell is really strong. The X double Big Band shell. People think it's like
Yes.
it's kind of a pushover nowadays, but like that thing is strong, dude.
That is strong. The capacity for safe DHC plus beat extend. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, pretty much. Especially like now, all the double garbage with the monster and whatnot. You can really push that to be something else.
Yep, she has damage.
Yeah. So when you picked up when you were like, oh, beat extend is really good, so you switched to your quote unquote current team, which is Valentine Pinwheel Big Band. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. So at what point did you because you're like known to be a pretty big proponent of beat extend.
Yes.
At what point did you go, oh, beat extend is alright, it makes a lot of characters really strong and, it makes everyone not suck, to this is the best system in the game and everyone should be picking it? Was that like a gradual thing? Did you always believe that? Like, at what point did it make you think that?
So the two biggest things were obviously like, oh, it suddenly makes Painwheel and Squiggly much more viable. So that's already a big, huge flag.
Right.
Second thing was that for every single character I played, I was experimenting with how they could use beat extend creatively to like make them do shit they were not able to do before. And I was like, holy fuck, there is so much potential in the assist. Like not only just from that, like increased creative pickups from Combo's perspective, like throw into beat extend for characters that have difficulty comboing off the ground throw.
Right.
Or shit like double jump back, heavy punch, call beat extend on confirm.
Yeah.
That's like, holy fuck. Or Peacock, jump forward, medium punch, heavy punch, air to air, confirm, call beat extend.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Why, like, holy fuck. That's all the only thing I can say to that.
Right.
Also, the fact that it reaches really, really, really high. It reaches really, really, really far. You can call it as a pressure filler so that you do your string, and either if they don't push block, beat extend will be invulnerable through, like, after their push block ends and frame trap whatever they do after, or they push block and you call beat extend to DP frame trap them after the push block ends, and then either way, if they get hit, it's the easiest conversion in the world.
Right.
And it's really far. So it's like, even if you get push blocked out and then call beat extend, if they don't immediately move from there, they get fucking snapped up by beat extend.
Plus, it's on Big Band, which has a massive hitbox in the way that is really hard to deal with. Yeah.
That's like a nice little perk, is that you call Big Band and it's like, oh, he fucks up, like his push box fucks shit up for you.
Right.
Or for the opponent.
Yeah.
So that's like not exactly the like a huge reason, but it's another little extra little bonus to picking beat extend.
Right.
Yeah, it was mostly the pressure filling. It was the vertical reach, making Valentine's life hard, making everyone's life hard, making Squiggly's life hard, making Beowulf jumping heavy punches life hard, making Peacock being near you's life even harder, because sometimes Peacock likes to jump around and do jumping heavy kick, or do some item drop, jump forward garbage.
Yeah.
It just solves so many problems. It's just jump forward, block, call, beat extend. Oh, they did a thing, they got snapped up, continue into set play.
Right.
And it's like, that solves so many problems. So many. And it's like endless in application in just, this team has a problem. Does beat extend solve it? Yes. And that was true for like the vast majority of problems that I kept consistently running up against. So beat extend is a bullshit filter. It's
Right.
like, it might not be the most, might not have the most overtly ridiculous effects, like heavy lock and load or heavy brass. But those are effects that are way easier to deal with in neutral. And those are effects that don't really like decrease your opponent's success rate. But beat extend, because of its wide applicability across all situations, or like the vast majority of them, it greatly moves the percentages into your favor on a situational basis.
Right. That makes sense. Was that? I mean, of course, that was like not something you sort of automatically, but like,
Yeah.
as far as the game kind of timeline goes, around what point were you like, okay, this is something that everybody should be having, as a definitive thing, like not as in, like how do I phrase this properly? I don't really think of a great way. But like, around what time were you like, okay, X Big Band is just, if you're thinking of a character, you should always put Big Band on your team. Like, if you're thinking of a character to put on your team, sort of a deal.
Okay, I don't exactly remember. It may have been 2013 or 2014, something like that. And I don't exactly remember which edition that was.
Right.
It was definitely before Robo Fortune's release.
Yeah. Was it around
Might have been-
Eliza release, I think? Maybe?
Maybe. I
Right.
think it might have been short. It might have been. I think it was slightly after Eliza release.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. That makes
I
sense.
don't fully remember.
Right.
But yeah, there was the reason. Like, I already outlined my reasons why it was like, this assist is mandatory. It's so damn good and
Right.
easy for everyone to convert off of.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about the history that you thought was really like not necessarily apt, but like something that a lot of people kind of forgot about, but you thought was really funny or important in terms of how like possibly how the meta developed, and or how like an influential player sort of changed what a lot of people thought, something like that? Anything else?
Hmm.
Because this is
Well,
like
it's some point.
like when I came on the scene, it was like end of 2014. A lot of the history was already done, as far as the game's exploration
Yeah,
phase and learning the game for the game. You know,
yeah.
like people were still learning characters, but like the game's general sense of how to play it was figured out. So like I wasn't
Hmm.
privy to much of the history in that sense. So if there was anything that you thought was particularly funny or interesting, if you want to share that, if you have anything in mind, that is.
Well, a lot of things is that I think the game kept changing so much patch wise that it was hard to really remember anything like that
Right.
because either something would be a huge problem and then patched, or something would like, or like big band would suddenly exist and then change everything,
Right.
shit like that. Um, Apart from after that, there was sort of like Newt when he was around. He like when he started using H axe on me, I was like, hey, this actually seems pretty all right. And then I experimented with it, and then I made you salty with Valentine
Yeah.
Axe Extend.
So give a bit of history to people who might not know. Newt was like I want to say end of 2015, 2016, something like that.
Hmm.
He was an Auckland-based player. Played Parasol Eliza. I think at the start he played some stupid assist like DP assist, which was like who gives a shit. And then he played Parasol Eliza with X. And because he was a player, he was like, I'm never gonna pick Big Band because everybody picks Big Band. So like already CM and him were like quite like not necessarily butting heads, but not necessarily like Newt would look for things that CM wouldn't think of. So when Newt came up with HX, it was like he told me like, oh, this is so stupid. It gives Newt so many things and they have to think about. And I was like, oh god. And then he started playing against me with HX
Yeah,
with like Valentine, Eliza, Big Band.
yeah. It's actually a very beautiful assist. It's like, what if heavy lock and load was an overhead?
Yeah.
And it's like you can't argue against that.
I mean, heavy lock and load
It's
with like unlimited armor overhead.
yes, heavy lock and load with unlimited armor and is an overhead and causes ground bounce on hit.
Oh
So
yeah,
if it
that
gets a
too.
random
Jesus
air
Christ.
hit, it's trivial to combo off of. And so you get shit like being Valentine at neutral, do like call axe, super jump shuriken, shuriken hits, they get hit by axe, run forward, convert. And
Yeah,
that's like, wow,
that was that was
powerful.
super fun to play against, even in its infancy. And I think I don't know
Yeah.
if people have like seen those posts, but I was like, I made a lot of like sort
You've
of
made
analytical
diagrams.
post diagrams. It was hilarious. It was like, oh god, I hate this
Yes.
shit. So I tried to beat
Yes.
that. That was a long time ago. I mean, after as soon as that happened, I think at some point after that you stopped playing.
Yeah, I was focusing on other games. So I was really trying to be a serious competitive threat in other games, and I was like, Skullgirls doesn't have much like competitive presence offline in Australia, so I was like, fuck this game, I'm gonna play some other shit. And then I was too unbalanced in life to make that work, and so I'm looking to rebalance my life now and
Right,
make something work for me.
right.
Um, yeah, but I did grow a lot in my trying really hard to improve at something with like basically all of my life effort.
Right. I mean, you mean that in terms of Guilty Gear or like Skullgirls or like just fighting games in general sort of a deal?
Fighting games in general.
Right. So that's pretty much all the history. I don't have anything else unless you have something else, but
Yeah.
if you don't have
A
anything,
recent
sorry,
thing.
what's up?
Well, a recent thing in regards to meta is dash assist.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that, but like if you had anything in the history, like I mean Newt
Nah.
would basically be history at this point because I don't think he's coming back, and that happened a while ago. So, but
Yeah.
like if you don't have anything
It'll always be
else,
nice to have Newt back.
yeah,
We always want more players.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to talk about the patch that happened,
Yes.
as in the 2016 patch that like had a lot of changes to a bunch of characters, and I mean I want to call the 2017 overall fix and the 2016 patch like as one thing because for better or for worse,
Yeah.
there if you combine those two, that's essentially another edition.
Hmm.
So I kind of want to talk about them both in the same kind of newness, as in like if we talk
Yeah.
about Beowulf got changed in the patch, so like it's the two patches combined sort of a deal. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on the game. First of all, if there anything that is like very encompassing that you think is really important, and then after that we'll kind of dive into specifics,
All right.
if it happens that way.
Okay. So the
So
biggest thing
oh yeah, sorry. Go
that
ahead.
so the biggest thing that was like all encompassing for the patch is the 240 undizzy change.
Right.
That pissed me off a lot. Pretty much because I had like after Mike Z said this patch is the last patch, I was like, all right, it's the last patch. I can dump all my energy into like optimizing the shit out of my post-hit set play. It's all done. I've got it. I can just apply it. Good. And then a new patch comes out. I'm like, Mike Z, you lying piece of shit. Fuck you.
To kind of expand on that, basically the patch, if people like are unsure, because like I think there might be some people who are like, oh, this is Skullgirls Oceanic scene. I don't know what's up with that, or like if they don't know anything about it and just end up listening to it anyhow. The patch was basically as soon as you hit 240 and dizzy, and then dizzy is kind of like stun, except the opposite. If you hit 240 and dizzy, your starter gets scaled really badly, and the meter build is really bad for you and really good for the opponent. So like it's really rough to kind of keep post max and dizzy set play going, or keep it going and like still get a lot of damage out of it and try to kill people like quickly. So essentially, like if you got a hit and then you knocked somebody down at full and dizzy, you couldn't do much out of the hits that followed.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I'm gonna say that. So after I say fuck you, Mike Z, I'm also gonna say I'm only saying that specifically because he said that the patch that I was optimizing on was going to be the last patch.
Right.
So that betrayed my expectations. I think for what Mike Z wants out of the game, the 240 undizzy patch accomplishes it in a certain way. Because it requires you to understand more about your characters and to use more of the game mechanics. And it's like, if a patch does that, you can't really say that it was a bad patch.
Yeah. Because it forces you to like it forces you to think more about what you're doing as opposed to I got a hit, I'm gonna do this full ass combo, and then I'm gonna do this thing that I've like written down since forever ago, and then I do the thing over and over.
Yeah, because what I did before this patch was just, all right, if I get a low damage combo starter, I do an early reset. If that works, I do the full undizzy combo. Then I do max undizzy combos until they die. And then I just keep doing it. And then once they come in with max undizzy, I just keep them at max undizzy. And just keep going. So it's like, I didn't have to use the blue ground bounce. I didn't have to like do an early reset.
Early unscaled reset, like you get a hit,
Yeah.
like it's like full unscaled, like a regular hit as opposed to like a throw or assist hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, cool. I got the set play. And now it's like, I've been playing a lot of Solo Bella specifically because I want to be playing a grappler for funsies, because I was originally a grappler player in fighting games. And so I'm having a lot of fun with that sort of mentality again. But also because I'm exploring what the 240 undizzy change means for like the set play meta.
Right.
And I'm starting to understand it a bit more. And it does feel good to like have that sort of new type of optimization done. But that's only because it's like, okay, now I have to learn all this new shit. And now I'm starting to actually learn all this new shit. And I'm playing this solo character just for funsies. And actually getting around to learning that new shit.
Right. So what do you think of it? Yeah. Like, I mean, as outside of it forces you to like use more resets and use more mechanics. What do you think of it? Like, of course, I don't want like I don't like it or I like it sort of a deal. But like, what do you think it kind of gets out of the game? Like, what do you think? Like, are there particular characters do you think get more out of it than others, or in a different way, or? And like you said, it fixes the thing he wanted to fix in a particular way. What other thing you think would have been better in to deal with other specific situations that the patch doesn't really address, or like kind of changes it in a way that you don't like? I feel like that's kind of a loaded question, but yeah.
It is a bit of a loaded question.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
But,
write the thing down so I can kind of break it down.
well, I'll try answer it anyway. Because uh, there are a bunch of overarching meta effects that I could immediately see from that change, which is Peacock would be better, and I already think she's number one in the game, like before that Undizzy change happened. And so after that, she's like undisputably number one in the game, because Peacock could already just do a full combo, end it full screen, go back to zoning. And it's like this change, if you are doing that style of Peacock, and she's a zoner, she likes being like far away to some degree. It's like just end your combo max on Dizzy and then keep being Peacock, and then it's just better because all the other characters can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
It's like a direct advantage to Peacock that when I thought it's an advantage that she didn't need when she was already the best. Now she's even better.
Right.
So, it means that it's harder to make a comeback. You have to, like, when you're a single character coming up, like, in 3v3, if you're a single character coming up against 3, it's like, it makes running a train on your opponent after getting one touch way, way harder. Because previously, of course, I relied on do big combo, do max on dizzy combos, blah blah.
And you'd have a bunch
But
of meter stored up to kill, like meter dump into somebody or something like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So you'd be able to like do a couple max on dizzy combos, conservatively meter dump, so you can meter dump across all the characters.
Right.
Now, I would have to review what the hell I should do in regards to coming back as 1v3 with the new Undizzy changes and what new combos I would need. But it also seems to heavily favor characters who can do multiple supers by themselves in the same combo for a substantial increase in damage.
Do you have any
Cerebella.
like examples? Oh yeah, you were doing about Cerebella.
Yeah, like Cerebella. Like her double dynamo combos like are easily very worth it to do. And
Right.
I have not done like a proper analysis of multi super combos across the cast, so I can't make any definitive statements. I know that Cerebella would benefit a lot, Big Band benefits a lot. Who else? I don't think Philia benefits that much, even though she can get multiple Gregor, because
Because the Air
Gregor
Gregor doesn't do that
get
much.
that much.
No,
Yeah.
like it barely has like 500 at worst. It's not great.
Yeah. Who else? Parasol, maybe, but Double definitely benefits from it with Monster.
Right.
Yeah, characters that can do multiple supers by themselves with a lot of damage, well, for a lot of damage, benefit much more from this patch. So that introduces another layer of balance, stratification, divergence. What's the
Right.
word I want?
Fuckery.
Another bit of balance fuckery, where it introduces another element of ways certain characters can be meaningfully better than other characters.
So you think it kind of, instead of bridges the gap, it like, I don't know what the word for it is. It pushes the gap farther out.
Yes, so I think that the game is less condensed balance-wise after the 240 on Dizzy patch.
Right.
Definitely so. Because there's more ways for characters to be better than one another. Whereas before, with the do max on Dizzy combo, and then just, do your full on Dizzy combo, then do max on Dizzy resets. Every character could just do that and just keep doing it, and it'd be roughly similar, and that was homogeneous, but homogeneity is fair, so...
Right. As in, like, it would be easier to balance that per character, because Robo Fortune was designed not to be able to get a lot of that, get a lot out of that, whereas like somebody like Big Band can easily do that because he's got big hits everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this also does mean, like, another credit towards Mike Z's vision, like with this patch, is that it does mean that you do have to develop your neutral more,
Right.
as opposed to like just get the hit, run the set, play, win. You have to actually fuck around with neutral more, so you have to be better at neutral to win Skullgirls. And that is like hard when you don't.
When oh my god. Oh no. No.
Hello?
Oh sweet, it's back.
Yep. It's just something weird happened with my mic.
Alright.
Where did I cut off?
You said it's harder to be good at neutral than Skullgirls.
Yeah, harder to be consistently good at neutral in Skullgirls without beat extend, because beat extend solves so many problems, and
Right.
there's so much hot garbage that your opponent can throw at you at Skullgirls. Like, it is as if Skullgirls was designed in order to provide you with the maximum amount of unique gimmicks you can come up with to shit on your opponent when they don't know about it.
So like it was designed to be chaotic.
Yes, it was very much designed to enable that kind of chaotic creativity and to be really difficult to figure out.
Right.
And so making the game harder neutral-wise, if that's the type of game you're playing, can be really off-putting. But when you are funneling it through a method of consistently playing neutral, then it's still fine. But that's, again, where the making a solo comeback problem comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because being a solo and trying to come back against shit, where you have to deal with a swarm of gimmicks, it's like, ugh.
So do you think that it requires you to be able to outplay your opponent more times than that's kind of the point of like the team, right? The team is supposed to be more than some of its parts. That
Yes.
Having two characters is not just having two characters. It's like 2.5 in terms of how much utility it would provide. And so losing the characters, you not exponentially, but like you lose more than you think you would lose. So it makes it accentuates the amount of the amount of outplaying you have to do.
Yes.
And do you think, I mean, like, again, not to really put a blanket statement on it, but do you think that's a good thing that has happened because of it, or?
Well, because that is simultaneously true along with the increased, separation between potential tier listing.
Right.
So it's you need to outplay your opponent harder, and the game is less balanced.
Right.
So I don't know what to make of that.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's a way to kind of put it that doesn't put it here or there, and it still provides a like a thing to think about.
Yeah.
As far as the kind of like, because what Mike Z talked about in the patch was he was pretty clear on what he wanted to fix was the post and dizzy teams just killing you off of 2 touches. Do you think? I mean, obviously it does fix that, quote unquote. But do you think it fixes the sentiment that it causes in a way that you would like? Like if you get hit by somebody in if you got hit by like Bayo Brass, for example, because that's one of the videos that came out. You would do 2 combos and you'd kill them. And then you would have Big Ben over there, and then Big Ben would do an incoming to 2 mix-ups and you'd kill them. And then the third character comes in and they do 2 mix-ups and you kill them because he has some meters stored up or whatever. Do you think that was a thing that needed to be fixed?
No.
Right.
I did not think that was something that needed to be fixed. The tech existed, but the thing is, the way I see it, I am up against a Beowulf player with Brass. That's a Beowulf player without beat extend. I'd be like, cool, if I get touched by him, I deserve to get completely fucking mangled. Because, 1, he has to get a touch with me that didn't involve using an assist to touch me. 2, it needed to be an unscaled starter so that he could actually fuck me over.
So it's not like a random air throw or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
3, he needs to guess correctly on the resets and not get fucking reversal supered. And you can combo off of most of your reversal supers in this game. And if not, you might have 2 meters and a DHC to let you continue comboing. So like, oh, there you go. And you lose. And 4, like, if you just outplay him in the beginning, you just fucking snap. And then you solve the team, like, that way. It's like, he bypassed, like, in order to fix this quote-unquote problem, he changed the game when there was already ample ways to solve the game within the game's mechanics.
Right. But it was, like, more of a... It was less of a... It was more of an outplaying than it actually, like, seemed to be at the first glance. Is that kind of, like, the thing you were talking about?
Could you rephrase that?
As in, like, you had to be able to outplay the opponent to deal with the team instead of the game kind of solving the team for you, sort of a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, you have to jump through so many hoops in order to actually get that to start. Like, okay, but the general gist of it was also that, alright, it's Bayo Brass, but it could also be, like, Valentine with Axe. It could also be someone with heavy lock and load, maybe. So you could actually play a team that would do that, and you'd be like Val, Axe, Beat Extend, and you'd be able to do like 2 reset kills constantly for Blender. But even then, that's like snap their shit or nuke their assist when they call it badly. It's like there's solutions there. So I think that if the goal of the patch was use the rest of the damn game mechanics, you idiots, stop being degenerate, sure, that's a fine reason to patch. That's the exact same reasons that he nerfed Dynamo because it was degen. That's the same reason that he nerfed Philly Jumping Heavy Kick because it was degen.
Yeah, because those things like solved a lot of the stuff they weren't designed to solve or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like it made other moves in their arsenal redundant. And so in regards to the 240 Undizzy patch, making lots of universal game mechanics redundant, I think that was a good thing to solve. But the original problem was not a problem that needed to be solved because it was not really that bad.
Right. And do you think there's things that the patch, like, not necessarily set out to fix that it didn't, but do you think there were problems with the game that kind of like related to what the patch was about that the patch just didn't fix? It's kind of like a weird way to phrase that, but what I'm trying to ask is, do you think that the patch tried to fix something that it didn't fix?
If the express goal of the patch was to fix the Max Undizzy 2 reset kills, then it definitely fixed more than that. Yeah, but it caused a couple other problems.
Right. I guess yeah, that's pretty much the best way to kind of put that thing. Really. You did say that it fixed the things that it wanted to fix in a particular way. I know that you were kind of like on favor of like trying to see if there were different things to fix. Are there still things that you think that could be fixed with like? Do you think there are still ways to fix what the problem was in a different way that doesn't fix all the other things that did need to be fixed, or like it doesn't cause as many side effect changes?
Well, I did make a suggestion for a more complicated. Granted, like it was a more complicated suggestion for changing the Undizzy.
Right.
But like a less heavy-handed Max Undizzy thing would have been better in my opinion, because I think the problem wasn't getting one set of Max Undizzy reset kills. It was constantly repeated Max Undizzy resets. Because I know that I would win games with like over 9,000 Undizzy stacked on my opponent.
Right.
And it's like, that is actually a bit stupid. And so if my damage was scaled to shit, when I reached like 500 Undizzy, alright, cool. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, if it was like, but the way it is now, I do think it is a bit too harsh, and it affects slightly too many things.
Right. So like, so overall, again, like I hate to make these kind of things that like, oh, what do you think of it overall? Is it good or bad? But what do you kind of see the game as it is now, and kind of how do you see the game going forward, especially like related to the oceanic scene, and the way that the people like us play the game?
That would all just depend on how much we actually like, uh, how much we play, how much we pay attention to learning, and how much of what we actually do. Because I think that if we were to all make a concerted effort to improve as a scene again, then like, I don't know, there's a lot to discover in that, and I don't have a clear, definitive vision of what that would look like, because there's a lot that I need to actually. There's a lot more info that I need to get, because there's a lot of like boxes of information in my brain that haven't been filled with information that I need to fill it with.
Right.
But yeah, yeah,
Right. That
I'm
kind of makes
not.
sense.
Yeah, I would need more. I would need more information to make a definitive statement.
Okay. Trying to think of anything else. Do you have anything else about the game? We didn't really go about the over the character changes.
Yeah, you can bring up a bunch of character changes. I don't
Yeah,
mind
we can
going
kind of
over
go
'em.
over some of the more drastic ones. One thing I really wanted to talk about was Beowulf, because one, we don't really have very many Beowulfs in the region. The one
Yeah,
really
so we
notable
have
one
like,
we had was like
yeah,
Newt played Beowulf for a bit, and he didn't really know any combos. And then Sieg tried to play Beowulf for a bit, and then he stopped playing.
yeah.
Um, so what do you think about the character when he came out? What do you think about the character when he was essentially reworked? And what do you think about him now, especially related to the Undizzy changes? Because he was one of the characters that kind of caused the Undizzy change to happen. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what do you
so
kind of think about that?
I have no legitimate opinion on Beowulf after the Undizzy changes,
Right.
because I have not played against anyone with him that was good enough with him to give me a good sense of the character, and I have not learned the character. So, like, I can't say shit. I do not have a legitimate base to make my opinion from. Before the Undizzy changes, I thought that Beowulf was good, serviceable, had good damage, had good mix-up. I needed to play a little bit patient in neutral, needed to like do jumping heavy punch, beast cannon stuff non-retardedly, and then sometimes retardedly.
Right.
Uh, I think that on the surface, tying more of his damage to hype makes it so that you actually have to deal with hype as a mechanic, where
Right.
you could ignore it before. So
Yeah.
changing that is a good general balanced thing. It's consistent with the good changes Mike Z has made to the game. And pretty much the vast... I can't actually think off the top of my head an outright, straight up bad change that he made.
Right.
That wasn't either fixed later or like ended up actually being good and I was stupid.
Right.
In regards to the actual implementation of the hype for combos, I think Tomo had a few complaints in that it didn't make his combo game that much more actually interesting. It just required you to jump through a couple of hoops to get his proper combos going with respectable damage.
Right.
Does he
So,
have any extra neutral options from building hype?
what do you mean, sorry?
Does Beowulf have any extra neutral options from building hype?
What he gets out of neutral from hype, he gets, if he has one hype, he can turn his anti-air super, which is pretty decent at just anti-airing, into damage.
Okay, that's pretty good.
He doesn't, Shinshoryu, if you get, if you have two hype, is, gives him stuff after it, but even then, that's kind of like, eh. So basically,
Yeah,
it's more
well,
like just combos.
the anti-air super one is significant because it's like, is it unblockable even if you're descending?
No, you can block it if you're
Okay.
on the way down.
Okay, but it's still a good anti-air.
Yeah. Like if they're sticking out anything, they're gonna get scooped.
Yeah, so that's significant. Was that a new change, or was it something that was present in old Beowulf?
I think that was there before, but nobody used hype, so
Okay.
nobody cared about using that.
Okay. So I think that if Beowulf's hype mechanic was like actually wanted to have more legitimate use in making the character interesting, it should have behaved something like Order Souls charges
Right,
or
because
something like Johnny Coins, where it actually gives him legitimately more options, like when he has it.
yeah, because that was the plan. Because the way he was talking about it, he was like, "Oh yeah, we should make. I want to make it like Hoss," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
But then,
it
yeah.
doesn't do like anything like Hoss. It just does it like the combos like Hoss, but even then, like, you know,
Yeah. So if the only difference in neutral he gets is he can combo convert from anti-air super, then that's legitimately not enough. More should have been done.
right." I mean, he got like a bunch of other changes, like the crouching heavy punch. If you don't have the chair, you can spend hype to pick up the chair after that. Oh, I forgot about that one. Um, he also like this was not related to hype, but he
Okay.
got the throw down the chair with the jumping heavy kick and double jump. He got that
Oh
as a
yeah.
movement option, but that was not related to hype, so
Okay.
not as part of the
When you
rework.
said crouching heavy punch into chair pickup, is that like he can only pick up the chair if he has hype
Yes,
and he spends it?
you spend hype to pick up the chair, yeah.
Like okay, but that's like the fucking crouching heavy punch.
Yeah,
That's like you're doing it close, and it's hugely armored, and it's a bit of a gimmick. It's
yeah,
a powerful thing that they have to deal with, but it's a bit of a gimmick. And spending hype to just like make it either safe or get a chair combo after, it's like, eh,
right.
eh.
So
I don't
you
know.
still think that like the overall change to the character was a lot less underwhelming than you would have thought it would be, given that the kind of the statement of the changes were so what they were to be, I guess.
Yeah,
Right,
but again, have to like disclaim that I do not have a lot of personal experience in Beowulf.
right. That would be something we'd have to get Tomo for, I guess.
Yeah.
Right,
So take what I said with like a mountain of salt. But
right,
if crouching heavy punch is as useful as I think it is, which is situationally at best, then the chair pickup thing is like, eh.
right.
It might be really good for like covering opponents doing like wake up supers and shit.
Right,
But so it's like armor through their wake up super into dead arm time
right.
if you can do that. And
You
if
can
they
already do
block,
that
you
before
just pick up
anyway.
chair.
But if it gets
Yeah, but
blocked,
it's
then you can
like
pick up the chair out of it and get some plus
yeah,
frames.
so that's significant. Um, but that requires a specific setup, bloody bloody blah,
Yeah, yeah,
and is not neutral.
yeah, yeah. Um, I kind of want to talk about Robo Fortune, but kind of don't want to, because I think we like kind of went back and forth on that already on Discord.
Yeah, well, you
Uh,
have to remind me what her changes were,
right,
because I'm really hazy because I have not played against or as Robo Fortune in a long time.
right. So first of all, her damage got decreased significantly.
Hmm.
Standing Fierce, it got you could pull it in. Standing like a lot of the mediums lost a lot of frame advantage. You can do double beam in the air. What else changed? A lot of the head stuff just became a lot faster in general. Like the head crouching heavy kick became a lot faster, like 5 frames faster. A lot of the head moves just activate a lot quickly. The mine activates fairly quickly. The missiles as an assist change. I think we played when the assist change came out, and it was like this is legitimately broken. That was fun. Um, what else changed? So I mean, you don't need to call missile once before you need to call it again. The magnet super can it causes no like untakeable knockdown. Um, beam doesn't build as much meter for the opponent, I think, but does less damage. Level 3, the activation was fully invincible, and the explosion wasn't you just die because everybody can PBGC. now you can't PvDC it. Death mode got improved quite a lot because like the beams knock down, they give a sliding knockdown.
Whoa. Okay, that's big.
Um, the like the ground, medium, and light beams, they'll all knock down. I think the air beams also knock down, which is pretty strong.
I
The
didn't
double
know
jumps,
that.
not double jump cancels, not being overheads, was a thing. What else? Trying to think. Oh yeah, the run speed became slightly slower, but like that's not particularly that's not as strong as you would think, because it only was as big of a deal from like full screen, which isn't where she'll be running in. She'll be running in from like mid screen, where that's still
Well,
basically as strong.
well, thing is that when I did fuck around with Robo Fortune back then, I would actually run in from like full screen
Right.
because like mix up between beam zoning and rush in your ass, or like fake rushing in your ass and go do some more beam zoning from mid screen. It's like
Right.
if you're full screen, go in, do beams, or jumping heavy punch, shit like that. Or if you're mid screen, zoom forward, nibble.
Yeah.
It's like both of those are like really good. I really like Robo Fortune's horizontal movement in regards to zoning spacing.
Right.
Like, how much experience do you personally have with playing a character like Dawson?
I played Dalton in ST for like 2 months. Not particularly seriously, but I did play him for 2 months.
Okay, well, Robo Fortune reminds me a lot of that.
Right.
Like that kind of character where you're really caring about where the opponent is moving on screen, and you're using beams to limb them.
Right.
Like you're using beams as if they're Dawson limbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, if those are like, were they made more plus?
I
Or,
think
like,
the
less
beams
negative?
get like a bit better recovery. They got I think a bit more damage, but a bit less chip. Well, I think they still had
Yeah.
more chip than what they had before, but it was like I think like 200 chip and like 400 damage or something. I don't know. I'd have to look up the patch
Yeah.
notes.
So I think it's like clearly Robo Fortune's like up close mix up is worse. Her
Yeah.
damage is worse,
Yeah.
but a lot of her neutral stuff is better, and that's where like she was like mostly designed to be.
Right.
Even though like her up close mix up was fun and good.
Yeah.
Um,
The jumping medium punch, like double jump and then fast fall and whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But doing all the Dulcim style beam zoning is really good, and if it's less minus now, then that's good. It
Right.
means you can get more like you can research stuff like beam into guaranteed or mostly guaranteed head call in exchange for them moving forward a little bit but not far enough to actually challenge you.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Like I think like if someone like Big Band reads it, that they can still like car rush punch you and hit you if you do
Yeah,
beam
but
into
that's
head. But like that's like a
like,
hard
okay.
call out, and
Yeah, exactly. It's like just don't get hard blast from full screen.
yeah. And also she had a
Like-
bunch of quality of life changes, like the crouching light punch, the air is invincible. The crouching medium kick pulls in on hit. Like the
Quality of life change is always good.
yeah. Trying to think of anything else. Like the standing medium kick, knocking down was always there. Not knocking down, but like pulling down. Yeah, like it was like more neutral focused and less like rush downy and less Marvel 2
Yeah.
Iron Man-y, where you just get a random hit and you do like a bajillion damage.
Yeah. And so I think that because of the Undizzy changes and those changes to Robo Fortune, she is in a better environment for her new strengths.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other like reworks. I mean, Fukua, like nobody has any Fukua knowledge over here, so
Yeah, I have literally no opinion on New Fukuwa.
Yeah.
I have, no knowledge at all.
right. Double monster. I mean, it's
good
it's
enough,
it's
like-
good.
Hold on.
Sorry?
Did Sonic Fox win that major with solo Philia or Fukuwa?
I want to say he didn't play solo Fukua like the entire tournament, but like when Wing Zero played solo Philia, he played solo Fukua against that.
Well,
I think his actual main team is Philia Fukua double, but like when he was like, oh, there's a solo, I'll play solo against them. It was like kind of like that.
Yeah.
which is
So it's
not
like-
not particularly like how you want to evaluate the game as a whole, I guess.
Well, it's like, but still, and Sonic Fox won that tournament, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like Solo Fukuwa won a tournament.
Whoa.
You can't say she's garbage.
Yeah.
And if she is garbage, it means that everyone's shit.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Another thing much about Fukua, a lot of other characters didn't really get changed that much. All the big bang changes were just this character's stupid and does a bunch of damage, and let's make him not do that much damage, which is fine.
I like damage though.
You're right. Any other changes? Philia Hairball. Do you have anything to say about that? The airball, air dash stuff. I mean, you haven't played against much of that, really.
I played against a little bit of it. Played against Age doing it. And it's like, who said the lie that airball to jab was interruptible?
It is not a block string.
Not a block string.
Oh, the stand jab is a block string, I think. I thought like people
Yeah.
would do the crouch jab, and the crouch jab would not be a block string. But apparently, the stand light punch is a block string if you do it perfectly. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, that's how that works. Because people say it, and people won't lie on the internet.
But
I
even if
get
it's
this.
not okay, but even if it's not a block string, it's still like something that you have to super,
Yeah,
and which Philia could like colon carrot close bracket you into like just doing her own DP instead, like to beat your super
right.
instead of like, there's still like an actual guess there, and it's not a just guaranteed super Philia at this point every time.
Right. I would still have to think about more of that, because depending on how early or late you push block, there's some stuff that you can probably get that is quote-unquote guaranteed, but like she might be able to medium updo through it, because bajillions of invincibility
Yeah.
frames.
And
So
who knows, maybe she could also get some shit like low airball, air dash cancel light punch, and it's a safe jump or some shit.
I think that works against Peacock stuff, because M-bang, you can't M-bang through that. Because if you do like airball,
bang is super slow. So.
yeah, because the crouch jab will recover in time, and you'll just block the airball. There's some stuff with that. Other than that, can't really think of very many character changes that were like outstandingly big. Beowulf and Robo were like the biggest ones. Eliza just got a bunch of damage reduced, which is fine.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else in mind regarding the character changes with the patch?
Nope.
Right, so that pretty much concludes that section. So
Wait, did she get? Were the Hatred install changes new, or were they old?
the armor
Where
changes.
she gets.
Oh yeah, the
changes,
different grabs. I think that was relatively. I think that was part of the 2016 patch, so it's not technically that old or that new.
Yeah, the ones that got rid of the jumping H butyl loops.
Oh yeah. That's all like relatively old. I think that happened like when the 2016 changes were happening, and they were like, oh, let's make all the other viewers like useful. And so they did that, where the light one gets like staggered, some gets wall bounce, but you only get it once, some gets sliding,
Yeah.
something like that.
I think that makes her Hatred install combos cooler. Her armor buff, I honestly think was not needed.
Right.
Her armor was already really good. And the fact that people didn't think it was really good, I think was a giant mistake. But
Right.
whatever, as a paintball player, I'll take this unnecessary buff.
Yeah, because it was like most of the lights got like armor like a frame earlier or something, I think.
I was like, but I already used them. It was like, oh, scramble situation, charge, crouch, light punch, win.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like you can't hit the buttons, and when you can't hit the buttons against Painwheel, you kind of have to block, and you kind of have to block for a fairly long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, fuzzy jump versus paintwheel consistently because just fucking fly cancel air throw.
Yeah. Or even like Fuzzy just blocking, like trying to like Fuzzy guard. It's like she can just delay the flight normal, and it's like, well,
Yep.
that happened to me.
Yeah.
And people still can't block the crouching heavy punch and heavy kicks, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put
Beyond
myself
that,
on blast. I can't block that. I'll get hit.
And the moment that people like, sometimes some people have blocked it,
Yeah.
and then I think, are they reacting or are they just going fuck CM? I'm just gonna block this high. And if they think fuck CM, I'll block this high. Just do charge, crouch, heavy kick.
The real test is if they throw it, because that's the actual big brain.
Yes, people haven't been throwing it
Yeah.
here, and if they throw it, yay.
I
But
mean,
then Painwheel flies in your face
oh yeah,
and you
dude.
withdraw in
Oh,
the face.
yeah. I mean, by the time that really started to become a thing, he kind of just disappeared. So I don't think people will be throwing it anytime soon.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll
I
have
mean,
to play Painwheel again,
yeah,
but that's a little way off.
yeah.
I'm considering vaguely maybe playing Bella Painwheel, maybe for funsies after I have optimized Bella enough. I don't know. That's potential.
Right.
Um,
I mean, that's still like way down the
Yeah.
line, especially once your net gets fixed. Because I don't want to play on that
Yeah.
internet.
yeah, it's fucking stupid because like right now we can talk and it's fine, but the
Yeah.
moment I fucking play anything, it's shit. What the hell?
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, huh? But yeah,
Australia.
pretty much. But is there anything else you thought about the game or the character changes, the game as a whole, that you kind of thought that we were missing?
We didn't talk about dash assist.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I mean, I guess we can. We can talk about it now.
Yeah. So dash assist. I actually came up with that idea way before I started implementing it in proof of concept, because there was a Skullheart thread that was like, "What's the best alpha counter?" And I was like, "All right, dash is actually secretly the best alpha counter in the game."
Yeah.
Because you can biken. You can just spend 1 meter and be old Guilty Gear biking.
Yeah. If you block something, no, you don't get to hit buttons. I get to hit buttons.
Yeah, it's stupidly good. It as an alpha counter. It's like what the fuck are you doing, idiot? If you call it as an assist, because you don't recognize your team order and you think beat extender's on that, and so you mash it, and then Valentine comes out dashing, and you're a moron.
That can meat shield some people, dude. You don't know.
It can meat shield. I have sometimes called it legitimately to meat shield or body push them away.
Right.
But that's like
that's
like I want this incredibly small optimization for this incredibly large risk.
Right.
But yeah, dash alpha counter. That's like the moment that you see them do a fucking medium alpha counter jab. What are they gonna do? Super. Then it's a mix up between like alpha counter jab or alpha counter block. And both, and if they're wrong either way, they die. And if you're wrong either way, you're just fucking blocking against a medium.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're gonna fucking tick throw you after, unless it's like.
Unless it's anybody. No, even then, like nobody can do that.
They could if it's like a plus medium.
Even then, you can just push block them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still there's a lot of counterplay that you get out of that, while sacrificing an assist. So I think we talked about it before, but it basically.
Actually, that's more like,
sorry.
You wouldn't have to push block actually against the medium because you're alpha countering on the medium, so they would have to cancel into a heavy or a special to make you block that.
Right. So if they do the heavy, then definitely you can just push block and you'd be totally safe.
Yeah.
No
or
real
you could
mix
just
up to
call
deal
beat
with.
extend and block.
I mean, even then, you can't really force the hand of the person who's doing the dash alpha counter.
That's like the most oceanic thing that I can think of. Fucking dash alpha counter called beat extend.
Hell.
Also, dash alpha counter against burst baits.
Oh yeah.
Suddenly your burst baits don't fucking matter.
A lot of the burst rates just end up because even if they do the thing where they don't get hit by the burst, it's still like, oh, I exist now, and you're stuck doing your whatever.
And you can option select throw tech with the fucking alpha counter input as well. So.
Oh yeah.
So it's like the air throw burst bait mix up suddenly doesn't exist
Yeah.
if you spend 1 meter. It's like if they're doing a burst bait on you, they probably have done a huge undizzy combo on you, and you're gaining a fuck ton of meter, so you have the meter to burst alpha counter dash.
Right.
Wonderful. And so
And
that assist is most viable on Valentine and Misfortune because their assists are situational at best, and so
yeah,
you have access to the most fucked up alpha counter in the game.
yeah, because it's like especially for Fortune, like you can't really put much of anything on Fortune that you would put the character in the back for that assist for.
Yeah.
So it's like you can just give her this utility that will be more useful than having another DP assist that is arguably
Yep.
the worst DP assist.
Yeah.
So like it gives you a lot of things that you wouldn't think about, but it's just very uh, team sort of situational on a team where it's like you have to kind of have a good shell and then you can put it on that character that's not part of that shell or like is kind of part of that shell but even then like not really that
Yeah.
super integral sort of a deal. Like I think
Yeah.
we talked
It's
about
the
it
point
being
character.
like Magdoom. Like Magdoom is so
Yeah.
good you can just play Magdoom and just not have to care about calling Phoenix. So that team works that way. Sort of
Yeah.
a deal.
That's sort of similar kind of
Yeah, I mean, of
deal.
course, it's
Yeah.
not totally similar. Like the Phoenix as a win
It's not
condition and whatnot.
analogous,
Yeah,
but the pattern of your third character, like instead of it being the anchor that you don't give a shit about, it's the point character that you don't give a shit about.
yeah. So overall, we kind of had like a bunch of discussion about the patch, what the Undizzy changes do, what they kind of provide, what they don't provide, what the side effects of the changes are, the character side effect changes are. Oh, I mean, character changes are, and basically dash alpha counter, which is like I think we talked about it when you were talking to me about me playing Fortune Robo Band, and I was like, I don't know what assist to put
Yeah.
in Fortune. You were like, try dash assist. I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. And then now I think Shuffle tried it, but now Shuffle is not
Yeah.
playing Fortune, which is probably good.
Shuffle is just not playing because he is scared of getting wrecked on stick. He broke his pad and he's avoiding playing stick. That guy just needs to grind.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about the scene, but yeah, that's kind of basically where it's at.
I'll need to be right back. I gotta go to the toilet.
Okay, sweet. That's fine. I don't have anything to play in the background, do I? I have no idea what the song is. Let's try that. Oh god, no, not this. This is terrible. Trying to see anything. I don't think I have anything good to play. But yeah, I think at this point the only thing that's really left is what to talk about the scene in general, where it came from and how you see going it forward. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not really much else, which is good. An hour, through that. I think we got a lot of talk about it. Talk about different things. That was good. Oh, there's something about 2002. Let me see that. I love 2002. Oh no, Nameless. Nameless is a stupid combo. I know. Ours is basically just Nameless is a stupid combo. That's cool. No. Any funny jokes on Twitter?
Hello.
Oh, yeah. So I was just kind of like just mumbling that we pretty much got through a lot of the what we thought about the game, kind of like some of the
Mhm.
history that I want to talk about, what the game going forward is, what we think about the game. So pretty much the only thing that's left is kind of going over the scene, and
Mhm.
for that I'd pretty much do a similar pattern of what do you think of the scene from its past, what do you think about its present, and what do you think about the future. So kind of starting from the past, I think we kind of talked about the past, like the scene
Yep.
as in like individual people. But what I wanted to
Yes.
talk about was more of the scene as a collective whole and what, I mean, obviously it's not necessarily a hive mind, but what the scene's kind of overall thinking was. Were there any notable exceptions for that, of course? What do you think about it now, and what do you see it going in the future as being? So, with the past, like, what do you, especially during the Steam days when it started, what did you think about the scene as a whole? Like, I guess kind of like in terms of quote unquote how tryhardy it was, how like were there many notable people who were like looking to push the game? Were there many people who like didn't care? Stuff like that. And if you want to bring up individual people, that's also fine. But like, yeah,
Okay. Well, um, I think that in general, it's really hard to find people that actually try hard games in Australia, even ones that have like actual presence in like local scenes.
right.
It's just generally like Australians, like as a people, are generally really laid back and yeah, nah, mate,
Yeah, yeah.
you'll be right. Um, but
So like the culture
I
doesn't breed a lot of try hard, get good.
yeah,
Right.
Dime was very try hard, get good. Um, when he was still maining Skullgirls, I decided to pick Skullgirls as my try hard, get good game. Because I was like, rollback netcode has online scene, has rambats, let's go.
Redmate
Um,
is an offline stuff, right?
and online stuff
Oh
because
yeah.
we
Okay.
had like some streams. Uh, give me just one sec.
Right, right.
All right. So in general, it was not too try hardy, but people still played. People still played a lot. It was much more casuals oriented. Tomo was like a very big lab fiend for the game, so he was pushing the teams that he thought was good. He would always play the DLC characters because he cannot help but play the new characters in every single game.
Right.
Um, he had very strong set play and damage. That made me wary of ever getting touched. Um, Dime was strange because he would have problems that I wouldn't, and I would have problems that he wouldn't. And
You'd have to explain that.
like he would have trouble against Age's Cerebella double team when Double still had 3-hit light bomber
Right.
because he like with Painwheel as well, and I was like, that's a good matchup for Painwheel,
Right.
and he was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yes, it is. So it's like, it's weird because he had kind of like somewhat reductive ways of thinking about things and thought that he knew a lot more, uh, knew enough information, but he did have different kinds of information that other people didn't have. And I was willing to like really grind the situations and understand everything on the most basic level
Right.
that like if I were to like do that and push that forward, it and people like actually paid attention to it, they would like it would it's like a lot of really basic stuff that anyone can benefit from and that people just aren't doing.
As in like
And
stuff
I
that people
find
would know, but they wouldn't know. Like they wouldn't implement it, but they would know about it.
yeah, it's like it's stuff that once it's implemented, it's obvious how easy to use and strong it is.
Right.
But stuff like that isn't done. Like push block safe kick confirms, I don't really see many people do that. I don't really see like really optimizing your hit confirms in general. I don't really see optimizing setups for multiple. Well, I do actually see that where it's multiple mix-ups for one setup, but also having the setup be safe as fuck.
Right.
I don't know, just a synergy with beat extend, obviously. I don't know. I can't think of a lot of specific things because it's like in the really like deep parts of my brain that I have not touched in a long time.
Right. No, that's fine.
So I'm slightly talking out my ass.
No. It's
So
fine. Like what you're saying does kind of make sense.
yeah, Smokey is casual-ish. Folks played by feels and by trolls. Ash played as well, and he made a Valentine guide, so that was good. There was, it was sort of like, there's also Dean as well. He was present for a while, but unfortunately, he didn't really participate with the online scene that much. He did more offline stuff,
Oh, okay.
and so it was good to see him there. There was some like offline meetups, even during the PC days, when like there were better, more accessible venues in Melbourne at the time, and more offline Skullgirls players were willing to just play offline Skullgirls.
Right. Because, like, in your area was, like, you, Tomo, Dean, Smokey, I think, was in the area as well.
Yeah,
Was Age in the same state?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like, Age also showed up, I guess. And I think Dime, probably, like, I don't know where Dime is from. Is like Perth or something?
Dime's in Perth.
Yeah. So it was, like,
Yeah,
you,
so
like, 5 people, like, playing Skullgirls and, like, I guess,
yeah,
like, Crouch Warriors sort of a deal.
yeah.
Right.
So I think that Tomo was a lab monster, and he innovated a lot of early stuff, a lot of combos. But in general, for like direction of how the scene was, like, I don't think it's like, I don't think I would be overstepping my bounds by saying that I am one of the most influential, like, innovators for Australian Skullgirls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, yeah, because I do invent lots of new stuff. I do come up with fundamentally different ways to conceptualize the game. I come up with a lot of ideas on, this is what I think the best possible thing is. Let's try it out. Let's lab it out. It works out in theory. Why not implement it? And then it's not getting implemented, and I'm sad.
Right.
But yeah, it's like people. I don't know what to think about that, because I can't make people adopt what I come up with, and I can't just go, you do this now, just do it. Like, they have to actually see a reason. They have to want it. They have to be willing to put that in. Like, in general, the scene is much more casual than pure try-hard innovation competitive, and lots of the players don't have like that kind of willingness to invest innovative thought into Skullgirls, because one, innovative thought is hard. So like, not everyone can like not everyone has like the personality for it, because you have to be a bit of a crazy person to be an innovator.
Yeah.
Because like, in order to innovate, you have to say, the way we're doing stuff right now is wrong. You're all wrong.
Right.
I'm right. So you have to be crazy to that degree, and to be willing to like actually put in the time to research shit and actually put forward a thing that says, I think this because XYZ, this is provable this way, that way.
I guess that sort of stuff is what led to a lot of your you and Age butting heads over the course of the years.
Yeah.
Or is that different? Okay.
Sort of, yeah. There was also me like getting really up myself about it, but like being validated with what I believed by starting to beat Age. And I was like, yes, the power. Yeah. So yeah, I think that in regards to the scene as a whole, even past and present, it's not like people did generally pick up Big Band, because it was like, from my abuse of the assist,
They go, oh, this is obviously really strong. I have to be playing this.
Yes, and so like basically everyone picks Big Band assist now.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of like people that don't do it, and so most people are abusing it. And so most of our strategy, well, most of the competent strategy is like built around bait the assist, punish it, take advantage of the lockout time, don't get hit by it like a idiot, and stuff like that. And so we're getting a lot more general experience against beat extend like that.
Right.
So that has shaped the general playstyle and what is considered more or less viable. And I think it's the more correct attitude about what's more or less viable.
I guess, yeah, because you have to look at it in relation to the people you're playing regularly.
Yeah. And so because unfortunately, like, I wasn't in a position to actually travel during when I was like in my prime time for Skullgirls. I couldn't test my theories overseas, so that sucked. I'm
Right.
just gonna have to hold that. Um,
Is there any chance of that happening anytime soon, or just no?
Not soon. Maybe in a couple of years.
Right. I
Maybe.
mean, like, quote unquote, hoping if the game still is alive at that time, whatever. But the game has been pretty resilient over the course of the years, so
Yeah.
there's much reason to hope for that. But
Yeah. It would
yeah,
depend on my willingness. Well, not my willingness. My ability to pay for the damn flights myself.
right,
So, like, if I were able to do that and comfortably do that and be like able to actually, like, it's just a money issue, really.
right,
I need to like support myself to a potent enough degree that I'm able to shell out tickets to go overseas
right,
and not think twice about it.
right, and also like hotels and like just the cost of staying in America, because that's quite
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Worst, like, that cost can obviously be mitigated by like being housed by someone, but then that has like another layer of,
like trust.
have I already destroyed my reputation enough so that is anyone actually willing to fucking house me?
Right. Right.
Which is a legitimate issue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and it's fair enough. Like, I understand it. That's fine.
Oh, that makes,
If
yeah.
if all that I saw of me was what I posted on Skullheart, I would not house me either. Like, that's fine. That's fine.
I think the way you carried yourself on Skull Hut and the way you carry yourself like even in the Steam chats was quite different, like and a lot more temperamental in the Steam chats than it was on the posts. And that would be like, especially when you would post on my improvement threads, it would make a lot more sense in the way you were talking. Because you've talked to me a bunch of times, and we conversed over
Yeah.
like years at this point, yeah. So it's like
Well,
it makes sense
the
why he's
reason that I
saying what he
get
wants to
like,
say.
yeah, the most of the reason that I would get so triggered in like the Skull Heart threads where I just like start like autistically screeching is that I would be so dumbfounded that people would not understand incredibly basic parts of the game and think they're competent. And
Right.
it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, like I have no proper words to describe how dumbfounded that is. It's like talking to it's like playing Street Fighter 4 and thinking that FADC is bad. It's like that level of what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. Oh, you don't mean like bad for the game. You think like it's a as a like, oh, this mechanic isn't worth being used or isn't worth
Yeah,
using.
exactly.
Right, right, right.
It's like it's that level of what FADC is obviously good.
Right.
like ugh.
That makes sense. Um, that was kind of most of the past. What do you think about the? I mean, I guess you kind of talk about the scene in the present, but like, do you have any particular people that you have in mind as the forerunners of the scene going forward?
Well,
I guess like that kind of like encompasses the past, like the present as well as the future now.
yeah. Okay,
So
so
yeah.
present to future. It would depend. I'd have to like play some more sets against everyone to get another general feel of how everything goes. It depends on who's willing to put in more time in playing. Like, you could be another prominent forerunner if you were to decide to play the game more.
Right.
Jedi Link is obviously, I think he's like number one right now in
Yeah.
terms of like results. Like, I, it's not a stretch for me to say that if I were to like re-establish my form, I would slap him for free.
Yeah.
But because I'm not willing to do that, he is number one.
Right. So it would be
And
like number one is you, number two is definitely Jedi, sort of a deal.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but at the moment, for what I'm willing to do, Jedi Link is number one.
Right.
And that's not taking like anything away from Jedi Link.
Oh no, no, no!
It's
Like it
just
totally, it shows the work he put in. Cause like people don't know, like Jedi started playing like at the start of the year, basically.
yeah, and the fact that he like started getting good enough to like consistently beat everyone else, I'm like, yeah,
Like
your scrubs getting wrecked.
he
Good job,
dump
Jedi Link.
like he basically like I dumpstered Age in the red bets that we had before, and like he dumpstered me back, and like Jedi dumpstered me, and I was like I was not even playing that terribly, and I have some excuses that I can make, but like even then he's like at this point he's strategically better than me, so like I can't even make any
Yes,
excuses. So
for sure.
right,
And it's interesting because Jedi Link is playing fucking Squig Band, and
yeah,
he's smashing everyone. And it's like that is one of the characters that I mentioned before that gets significantly raised by Beat Extend existing.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, ain't that some shit?
yeah. Because like
Like,
when he started playing, he was playing Parasol Squiggly, and I was like, "What the hell is this? I'm gonna slap the shit out of this guy." And then he played Big Man, and it was like, I have to start thinking so much more right now. Oh my god.
yeah, it's good. Beat Extend being this good is good for the game because it requires you to brain, and it requires your opponent to not on you,
Right.
and it requires you to not on them.
Because it's
Like,
like it's a bit more nuanced. It doesn't. It isn't like I don't know, like calling some stupid throw assist from mid screen and then them just getting like, what the hell, like 15 times in a
yeah,
row,
it's
whatever.
yeah, like it actually does require a lot more patience. Like it weeds out people who do not play patiently and who uh it take incorrect times to aggress much more.
Right.
It also just blows up gimmick.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
I guess like other people like Age. I guess I mean Age is still playing. In case people didn't know. I guess like
Yeah,
kind of the
Age is
way
still
you were
playing.
phrasing it, it was like, oh, Age is he was the past, but like he's still playing now. He came back like a while ago.
Yeah, he came back recently. He's been playing again. He's still got fundamentally the same play style.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, how do I put it? Like he's always got really interesting and strong set play ideas.
Yeah. It's like if you get hit by Age,
But
it's like you just got hit. And like that's it.
yeah,
You can lose that
Jedi Link
character.
doesn't have a problem with getting hit by age, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So it makes me think. Well, it directly makes me think that I'm missing something very crucial
Right.
about reading what Age's set play habits are. Because I likely just got into my own head with thinking that Age's set play is super ascended and really good.
Right.
Because while the set play itself is really good, maybe his decision making process is exploitable by Jedi,
Right.
and therefore I should be able to, if I learn how Jedi's doing it, do it myself as well.
Right.
Yeah. If Age were to like solve some fundamental issues he has with like valuation in neutral and reading opponents
Right.
and relying less on explicit hard reads and more about more about
Like soft
softer
read.
reads,
Yeah.
softer reads, more option coverage, more if more like reactively doing things in neutral
Yeah.
in a more nuanced way, picking more nuanced places to be, picking more nuanced options, stuff like that.
Right.
There's a lot more he can do to improve, because at the moment it's like his skill set is limited in neutral, calls you out with a hard read or a reversal, set plays you to death.
Yeah.
And that is not a conceptually difficult thing to deal with.
Yeah, it's also very
And
like it's kind of like the way I kind of think about playing Age whenever I play him is like you have to play against an AI. Like if you can read the AI, then you just gotta beat him, and if you don't read the AI, he's just gonna beat you. Like there's no in between. There's no like nuanced
yeah,
like decision making that changes over time. Kind of like
it's
that. Like
yeah,
he either
yeah,
dumpsters you or you dumpster him. Like that's it. There's no
pretty
in
much.
between.
And like one thing that made me want to like stop playing my main team was actually getting dumpstered by Age because I dropped my combo once and then get set played to death, and I'm like, fuck being rusty at this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's the other players like Mao or Shuffle. I guess you kind of talked about already. He's just being a bit of a bitch, really.
Yes.
Or
That
he's
is
been
the
stuck
best
with
way to
work, like
describe
either
it.
or, like, but even still.
Yeah, well, he's unemployed currently, so he was stuck with work, but he's stuck with looking for work.
Yeah,
But he is mostly just being a bitch.
yeah. Right.
Um, let's see. So we talked Jedi Link, we talked Shuffle, we talked Age. Who else? Mal. Mal. Mal suffers. He's like Age if he was slightly better at neutral and slightly worse at set play.
Yeah. Cause like when I when
There's
I when I talk to Taylor or Mao, like, cause we live in the same country, we
yeah.
travel to a lot of the same events. It was very
Oh,
much
yeah.
like he would have this idea that he could think of in between sets, and he'd be like, okay, I should be using this. And if I couldn't crack it in the set that we played, he'd dumpster me. But if I figured it out, it was very hard for him to make the reads to beat what I was doing in between set.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a thing that he has, that a problem that he has in general from playing him in different
Yeah.
games. So
Okay. Then that would be solved if Mal was more cognizant of immediately changing what his next action is going to be within a set.
yeah,
It's about being very mentally present in each moment, and when something happens in a situation, you make the mental note, I will do something different the next time this situation comes up.
right,
And then just programming that in.
yeah,
And that's like an important skill to have because that means you can adapt during like a set or during a game, and it makes you far more difficult to play against.
right.
Yeah.
I don't have any other people that are like that. I mean, I guess like the quote unquote forerunners of the scene at this point in my mind. I guess like Haggith, but like Haggith kind of just plays the game casually, really.
Man,
Uh,
Haggith is like, man, I played some sets against Haggith recently, and I had a lot of fun
yeah, yeah, yeah,
doing that because he's like, okay, so he's not really good,
yeah.
but
I think he's a lot better than people
he's
give him credit for, and the results give him
yeah,
credit for.
he is. He is much better than people give credit for, and what his results give credit for. It's like he hasn't like grinded a lot of the
His
like
set play is like
not
super basically, like it's like basically
super
non-existent.
basic. His movement is not nuanced like at all.
Yeah,
It's nuanced in some degrees in like a micro sense, but not in the using dash jump or using air dash sense.
yeah,
Like he does not use air dash much at all with Misfortune. That's like a big thing.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
even then, the fact that he can randomly dumpster on people without having air dash, that's terrifying.
Yeah, like
Um,
he was like, me and him went 2-1, and I was like, wait, what is happening to me? Because he kept like his headless is probably better than shuffle.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's scary. People don't give him credit for that. It's like nuts. Like, come on, dog.
Yeah, I had to deal with like his headless, like with Bella against Misfortune. He was playing the matchup well. Like he was playing the matchup how I thought the matchup was supposed to be played, like on a macro sense.
Right.
I started beating him on like a micro sense because I was like starting to adapt to each like situation that eventually changed the whole strategy of it.
Right.
But for the base level of the strategy he was applying was correct.
Yeah.
Um,
He also like has like very terrible like defense. When he kind of gets hit, he just kind of gets dumpstered. But like I think
Yeah.
that's just more being like it's weird to say unfamiliar, but not
It
being
is
like
kind of.
as practiced at dealing with the nuances of the game.
Yeah, like he still, like it shows that he has a lot of old fighting game muscle memory.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he'll do delay jab as like his defense option,
Yeah.
and that's not the default defense option in Skullgirls.
Yeah.
But then it'll be like I'm spamming like jump medium punch on him to, or like jump heavy kick on him in order to destroy his jabs, and then he'll fucking dash under me to get out of the corner,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Nobody else does that.
it's like that. Fuck.
It's like he's stuck in the limiters of not learning the game, where if he learned it, he'd be so much better. Like, he just needs to learn like 2 combos and like 2 setups, and he'd be beating people that 2-0 him like now. Like, it's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, who else?
Nobody else really. I mean, Smokey. I don't think Smokey counts
There's a
anymore.
bunch of the newbies. There's a bunch
yeah.
of newbies that are playing consistently. Apparently, Laughing Bomb is like being a solo big band, or is like a band
He plays band squiggly, I think.
band squig.
Point big band always scares me, and he has like I think
Yeah.
come over here assist. So I'm not a fan of that, but I kind of see what he's doing, and I think it's like it makes sense what he's doing. He just needs to play the game more
Because
and
he's
understand
coming
the
it
options.
from a point band valuation.
Yeah,
So I can understand get over here from a point band valuation. So that makes sense. Laughing Bomb, like I dumpstered on him with my Cerebella, but it's
yeah,
like at some point when he gets more experience, when he like learns how to fight game, and like he just needs time is all really.
yeah. I think more, you can say that for. I mean, as a general thing, you can say that for any new player really.
Yeah,
But
that's
some
fine.
people have like more promise than others.
Yeah, but everyone can improve. It just depends on getting rid of mental blocks like fuck this game, or getting rid of like, or like being curious about what you could be doing better,
Right.
and actually managing to change, like being able to learn things and change what you're doing.
Right.
Because there's like Laughing Bomb, there's Wait What, there's Makinami. Makinami is super motivated. Like he played like a several hour long set against Laughing Bomb in order to get 5 games off him. And I'm like, I have nothing but admiration for that level of like drive.
Yeah.
But he also like sucks real bad.
Yeah.
So it's like he has the drive, but he needs the specific like techniques
somebody to
of
guide him.
getting good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So once like my internet stops fucking cucking me out of actually doing shit day to day,
Yeah.
then I may spend some more general time like that.
Right.
Who else?
There's Deniku, I guess. He's like he doesn't really talk that much though, so it's kind of hard to gauge what
Yeah.
he's thinking.
Yeah, I don't think I played him before, so I have no opinion.
I played his solo Fukua, and I was like, it made some sense what he was doing, but like his neutral was like it was coming together. But after that, I was like, I just get a hit and I just kill you. And like
Yep.
it's just like learning the general game. I feel like some of these players like I feel like they have experience of fighting games as a whole, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
And there's Caduceon with the solo peacock. A lot of these people are solo, which makes me mad because it makes them so much easier to beat.
Well, look, if they're new, they're going to be easy to beat no matter what.
No, I mean like I think that like Caduceon plays solo peacock, and it's like at some point it just becomes like a matchup issue where you're just playing solo. I'm gonna run at you. You don't really have much to deal with it that isn't necessarily like non-committal like a Beatixen call into back off would be. And then I just get in, and then I just kill you because you don't know all the mix-ups that I do. So it's like
that's true. And it's like, but there's still a lot that anyone can do as solo.
Yeah.
To like, not only stop getting dumpstered, but also dumpster on other people.
Oh yeah. Like
And
there's
that's
stuff
one of
that
the
a lot of
things
people
that
can do.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm interested in doing with like Solar Bella.
Right.
It's like I'm starting to see a lot more things that I didn't have to see when playing my main team.
Right.
Yeah. See Mao, H Shuffle, Haggis, Yerma.
But
Yeah, that's
there's
basically
the
everyone.
what do you call it, the list that I made with that all the people. I
Yeah.
guess you could count with that. So I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think about you?
I just think that I like with me regards to Skullgirls, I just have to play the game a lot more to kind of get back
Yeah.
into the shape of it. Like I don't play the game as much for like improving as I used to. Like, cause we used to play the game a lot. You imparted a lot of knowledge onto me, and that was really useful for like getting better at games as a whole. But nowadays, I just kind of like I just have some like inner problems that I need to fix to be able to get back to that.
Yep, makes sense.
But after that, I think I can like beat Jedi. Like I can beat Jedi and a lot of those people and become number 1. But it just depends on if I like have the drive for it. Which is like basically everybody's kind of problem is that. Not necessarily problem, but like everybody, the thing that they need to get better is that they need to have the drive
It
for
might
it.
be possible that you might not need to have a lot of drive to like actually get around to beating Jedi Link.
Yeah,
It's-
just
I
like
think
cleaning
it's
up a lot of the
largely,
strategy stuff as well.
Yeah, cleaning the strategy stuff and like, because it's a very immediate what you're doing in the present moment skill. Like
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing that dumpsters on Jedi. Like, if you're present in the moment and you know what he's going to do, then you can read his strategy much easier.
Yeah.
And it's like you'll have to think a couple steps ahead, but it's shit like I blocked squiggly, jumping, light punch, light kick, dive. That means he is going to stand jab, forward, heavy punch.
Yeah.
And so that shit like that is like, okay, now I Gregor and then win.
Yeah. Like I do that a lot of that sort of stuff with Big Ben, where I'll like chicken block against him, and he'll always end up with a DP, and it's like a really easy parry, and I can use that hit confirm into uppercut and whatnot. Like I do some stuff like that. It's just being a bit more clean with it, and not just trying to be like, oh, I just played this game for funsies and memes, and actually try to put a bit more effort towards that. And
Yeah,
just
you
like,
can, like,
sorry,
I think it's just if you're in the moment deciding to take the game as seriously as you can while you're playing, and then drop that when the game ends, should be fine.
right? Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that might be. I think that's what I'm trying more nowadays.
Right.
Is like being like building up that sort of emotion of I want to do my best right now, as opposed to I want to do my best
Always.
in regards to the game outside of the game.
Right. Oh yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I think that sort of much higher perspective can, if not constructed well enough, cripple your ability to actually improve in game because you're too busy thinking outside the game.
Right. As in, like, oh, I should be focusing on this thing I need to improve, and that thing I need to improve, and that thing I need to improve.
Yeah, and you're not paying attention to the things that is happening on screen that you might actually need to.
Right. I guess I don't really have much to talk about the president scene. Do you have? I guess we kind of brushed over that a bit, but what do you think about the scene going forward? Like, what do you think about? Because like Ranbats has been a thing for basically a year at this point, like 11 months,
Yeah.
11 months or so. Because I think it started in November. Because when you and Shuffle had the idea of doing it, and then we just kind of ran it for like since like November, and now it's like December, October. So it's been like 11 months. What do you think that has led from that? Because you were a part of it for like a fairly big chunk.
Yes.
Even as for for being on the outside of it. What do you think it kind of going forward? What do you think it looks like?
I think it looks like keeping going, and it's like being an institution that moves forward into the future and is kept up, and that like is something that this game has that other games do not have in Australia. Weekly tournaments on Friday, online, facilitated by Rollback Netcode. That isn't botched implementation like Street Fighter 5. And it's like, one, it's Rollback Netcode, so if your internet like isn't inconsistent, it's good.
Right.
Two, it's not delay netcode, so even if your internet is consistent but you're getting 5 fucking frames delay, like in delay that's unplayable, in rollback it's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's not delay, it just rolls back. And in general, like being a it just seems good. It just seems like it should keep going, and it'll keep going as long as people are there to maintain it, and people are there and willing to maintain it, and be a community to be there for people to play in and improve with and shitpost with.
Right. Because like really, for as far as the scene goes, I mean, we didn't really talk about Fruit, but I mean, I don't think there's much to talk about Fruit
He's
because
not
he
coming
hasn't.
back.
Yeah, he's not. But like he was part of it for the start, but like I think there's only him that really we lost. But outside of that, the scene has only grown. Like we got
Yeah,
Jedi,
we
we
lost
got
Fruit, we
Age
lost
to come
folks.
back.
Like we did lose a bunch of people, but we also gained a bunch. So,
Who? I mean, like starting from when the Ranbats began. Like overall, it's been a net positive.
okay. Yeah, okay, that's true then. If we're going just from when Ranbats began, yes, the scene has only been growing.
Yeah. And I think that like a lot of the effort that people like Shuffle did is really not talked about enough in terms of that. Because it's a lot
Yeah,
of effort
'cause it's-
running it every week, especially like when I streamed it, I was okay, and when I stopped playing and like stopped when I didn't have my laptop and Fruit had to stream it, it was some
Yeah,
effort that
for
Fruit
sure,
put in.
it's like,
But even
yeah,
then,
it's
like
a non-responsibility. It's really good that like people are around to like carry that weight and actually do it for the good of the community. It's
Yeah.
admirable.
And even when like Fruit went away and I couldn't stream it, Shuffle took it upon himself to stream it, which is pretty big effort. Like people make it as a meme, but like streaming is a blow up. Like it's a lot of effort that you wouldn't think
Yeah.
it is. Like he runs the stream. He every time the stream like finishes, he puts it on YouTube and then goes through the whole 3-hour shebang to put the timestamps on. Like there's a lot of effort
Yeah.
that
It
nobody pays him to do. You know.
Yeah, he does it because of like the responsibility he feels to the community and how like we're calling him a bitch, but
Yeah.
he's our lovable daddy bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, as long as the rand bets keep going, as long as people are there to play, scene really like it just keeps growing. I think that it's upon the newer players to really force a lot of the reevaluation from a lot of the older players that like,
Yes.
okay, you're not good, okay,
Sure.
just shut up. You know, like when I was playing, when like Jedi just came on, I was like, you know what, I think I've reached what I could. I don't really care too much anymore. I'm gonna quit. And then Jedi comes along, and I'm like, okay, I'll play in the Ranbets. And then he slaps the crap out of him. I'm like, oh, what? And I'm like, okay, I guess
Yeah,
I
it's
really
good.
am not good.
It's always good when you get new blood that comes in and does that.
Yeah,
It's always the new blood that does that as well. To like that makes you go, oh, buh. It's
Yeah.
that revitalization in a community because of new people coming in with new perspectives.
yeah,
It's always good.
yeah. Like Jedi was pretty like Jedi did that. Newt did that. Like people don't give Newt enough credit for that. He was basically the one that really started that, I guess. Like in terms of
Yeah,
the new player that comes in is immediately really good. Like I'm not immediately, but like comes in, gets really good really quickly, and then kind of like just pushes the scene towards improvement.
Yeah.
And like before Jedi, I didn't really give two shits about Squiggly, and I was like, okay, I think the character's kind of garbage. I don't really care too much what the character does. And then Jedi comes along, and I'm
really
like,
glad when I'm like starting to lose a lot to Squiggles. It's like, real character.
and I'm like, what the fuck? She hit me with that, and then she hit me with that. What? And I can't hit the character. What? She venoms the
And
crap
she
out of
low
me.
profiles what?
Yeah. And because like she can
She
abare
low
with so
profile-
much crap.
Her crouching light kick goes under Cerebella's crouching medium punch.
That goes under my my overhead stuff too. It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
And now he's recently started to use uppercut into Sing. Sorry, into SBO, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's like how do you bait that? You have to call an assist to bait it, and then he can do a bunch of other crap that he can just do, because he has me calling a assist on his wake up every time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, sure,
It's cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. This is a problem we have to start solving.
yeah. And I think
Okay,
that stuff like that is
can
only
we-
going to help the scene.
Yeah, can we wrap up? 'Cause-
Oh yeah, I don't have anything else really much to talk about. Like I just pretty much hit all the points and pretty much all the detail. We didn't really have to rush anything. That was good. Do you have anything like any closing thoughts about the scene, about the podcast, like anything that you want to talk about?
Not really. Just if you could, like, if you like can be bothered, you can go through and like edit it, like cut out dead air, cut
Right.
out repetition, stuff like that, and then
Right.
when you upload it, it'll just be a cleaner listening experience.
Right.
Like maybe I could do it, but I have like a bunch of.
Oh no, I'm not gonna force anybody else to do it. I think the rawness really like portrays the oceanic sense of it. So I'm gonna keep it that way, or at least that's gonna be
Maybe?
my
Okay.
excuse.
Well, it's an alright excuse, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there was like some parts that I could kind of cut, but like it's kind of whatever. I wasn't like really hoping for it to be more of a as like professional sort of a thing, but like
Well, so
that
if
definitely
you want
does
people
make
to listen to it, you want to make it a good listening.
Oh yeah, definitely. But was there anything else that you kind of like wish that we
No.
talked about as far as the game and the scene, anything like that?
No, and if there was, we can talk about that next time if it happens.
Sweet. I honestly feel like doing this as part of a series, but like with other people,
Sure.
or maybe bring on the same guests because we really don't have that many people playing. But maybe next time I get
Interview
Tomo.
other
I don't know.
people, by all means. Yeah, that's a good idea. He would have a lot more idea of what happened in the early Skullgirls
Oh yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So that's
definitely.
yeah,
So that'd be
and
tight.
you can get his different opinion on people like Age and Diamond Me and stuff like that.
Right, that makes sense. I'll talk to Tomo about that. Hopefully he's able to do it for this amount of time, which I think is not kind of
If it's a weekend, it's not unreasonable.
yeah. Pretty much what I wanted to say. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep you for too much longer. Thanks to people who listened. Thanks CM for doing this. I didn't ask if it was okay to call you by your real name on this, but I don't think you care too much
It's
about that either
fine.
way.
Fine.
And I think it's probably better to call you CM because people wouldn't know you as that anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's too much else for anybody else to say here. So thank you for people who's listening. I'll hopefully try to do this next weekend because it's pretty fun to do this, and I don't really spend too much time outside of it. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week. Hopefully, I don't know. See you at some point. But yeah,
Bye-bye.
thanks for doing the CM.
Anytime.
Sweet. Yeah. And yeah, that pretty much explains it. Wow.